So everybody always sees my joy, right? Because it's a choice. It's also from God, not from myself. Because I've overcome all kinds of bullshit that hurts a lot, really deep. And I've been placed in lose-lose situations so often in life where everything you love is on the line, and always asked to make strong leadership decisions on choices. It's an A or B, and it's going to be lose-lose either way you go. And you can find, you rise above it, you control your emotions, and you see things from different angles. And that's how you win those situations, because it's never just A or B. You call bullshit on bullshit, and you rise above and you think deeper, and you solve problems with a different mind than what went into creating the chaos. Whether you created the chaos or whether other people created the chaos. And congratulations, but those cliches of you cause your own trouble and blah blah blah, well, I don't know who you live with. Maybe you just live by yourself. But if you have a big family or you have friends, you're going to enter into stress that's caused by other people's poor choices. That's not always your choice. But you're right, I did choose to live my life and be friends with people and give birth to people and things like that. So for that reason, that you're right, it is my choice. But it's also my choice to have integrity and to rise above situations. And instead of giving back that toxic sludge of bullshit that's often thrown my way, I've done the work necessary to heal from all kinds of things, to face trouble head on, and to never disassociate with substance. And I try really hard not to have process addictions either, because the only way through something and to overcome something is to face it head on and go through. Okay? And so I choose to share joy with others because life is dynamically challenging sometimes, and we all have different lots in life that provide different adversity that we must learn to overcome. And oftentimes you find something in and of yourself to develop and grow through as you do that, which is why it's important to do that work. That's why there's no get happy quick, get thin quick, get rich quick nonsense. Like, you have to do the work to develop yourself and to create value. And then as you start to overcome things and people's behaviors and choices don't tank you, there is a pushback, because people are used to being able to manipulate you, because they also have dysfunctions. But they literally have to also do the work inside to overcome those things. They can't just push it on you whether they want to or not. And that kind of change and difficulty usually causes some friction in relationships, because it forces people to change. Which is also why I added the mindset piece into what I do, is because I know that mindset, internal lies that are created by other people's dysfunctions, often tank our own ability to be successful as ourselves. So I walked away today. I don't want to tell my business. It's just, I like to respect people's privacy, and I don't like talking bad about others. And so I try to articulate well, but so some of you guys know my story, not all of you. It's usually just people that are close, and I don't think everybody deserves a story, but I will tell you, there is some mental illness. My very first husband had it, and it's on the class of psychotic disorders, and one of my sons has it, and his father before that had it. Anyways, it's my worst nightmare, one of the most difficult things to deal with. And so I always try to step in and help this child of mine, and he is the most loyal, loving heart person, that one of the people I know, so loving, so loyal, so smart, graduated early, top of his, at 16 with honors, and hardly ever spent a day in high school because he was so rebellious. Anyways, so he has schizophrenia. It breaks my heart, because he's often placing himself in situations with, it's a mental processing, what do you call that? A neurological disorder, where it's a thought process disorder. And so the thoughts aren't always congruent, and they don't always sound normal to anybody. And so you have to pay really hard attention to everything that comes out of his mouth, because if you don't, he's disrespected. And you also have to pay close attention, because if you say the wrong thing, he gets really volatile. And oftentimes I will step up to care for him, because we don't want to place anybody else in that situation or that danger of the situation. And somehow my title of mom has protected me to this day, in prayer and probably spiritual protection. Anyways, it just breaks my heart, because this kid of mine also is an extrovert, and would be fueled by relationship with others because he was so giving and loyal, very carefree, very energetic child. And now, because of his disorder, a lot of people don't even want to be around him. So he spends most of his days alone with this thought process disorder, in delusion and hallucination, and because he's often off balance. And luckily, he's a child that also has some skill sets to budget really well, so he usually can handle his own. But sometimes he gets signed up for things, or it'll take advantage of him and things like that. He often thinks the government's after him and knows about him and causes all these issues. So the line of thought is not accurate, but he thinks it is. I have helped him multiple times clean his home, move homes, find shelter, because the workers that are in his life don't step up and actually do their job unless you remind them that legally they're responsible to. It's just hard to find good help sometimes, and they don't always know what to do with this. At their level of training, they don't always know how to handle somebody with that kind of disorder. They make him continually talk about medication when if you could just get him to take it without talking about it, might help. He has a thought disorder. He cannot talk about something over and over and over and over again. That also scares him because he's had allergic reactions to some of the medications he's taken that have literally shut down his autonomic system, and he almost died because he couldn't breathe, because he couldn't even inhale air or swallow or anything else. And anyway, so he has a right to be scared of the medication. He has a thought disorder that talks him out of taking the medication. And then, just to try to escape his life, he tries to drink his problems away or something else sometimes. And that also, his poor brain can't handle any of that. So, anyways, it's just hard. And we've always felt alone. And if we share this problem with others and friends, including our friends from the church, we've always been brought with, it's just too much. It's too much. And since anybody who has friends or family with schizophrenia, there's a spiritual component to it. So if you ever want to question my faith in God, you need to understand that I come from a place where we've been threatened, not just by my son, but other people we know with schizophrenia, from a whole deep depth level of depravity and satanic ritual. And we absolutely understand both sides of it. And again, like I said initially, when you're faced with lose-lose situations and weird spiritual nonsense, you learn to find truth, because truth is what gives you power to overcome things. Proper perspective is what gives you the power to overcome things. And so while I love my son dearly, it's so heavy. It is so heavy sometimes because I deeply care, because I still see the child that I raised, that I loved as a baby, as a young kid, the joy that would come from him. And now all you hear is nonsense, and you're scared for him on a regular basis because he'll say things to complete strangers, and because they don't know he has an illness or don't care, he puts himself at risk often. So anyways, people always say you don't share transparently what your real life is like, but I've overcome plenty. And when I choose to give back to others and build other people up so that their life can be better, it comes from a place of compassion, no judgment, calling, purpose, and choice. Because when life, it gives you things that are hard, you have a choice to be just as toxic and hateful, or to actually choose something different. Love and kindness and an ability to reach people that feel alone and make sure that they're not alone, and that they're absolutely strong enough to overcome things. They have a spiritual gift given to them, probably more than one or two, and strengths and skill sets that are given to them to go through their lot in life. And so my choice to help others, it's genuine. And whatever people think about me or don't think about me, honestly, I've done enough self-work that it's not that I don't care, I'm indifferent. And I've even received comments that when people give me compliments, it doesn't sink in. I hear it as feedback. Because I've learned to regulate emotions so well that I just know as a leadership position, I know how to make choices and decisions with good discernment based on facts, not just emotion. And so it's not that I'm heartless or anything like that. I actually have a huge heart of compassion. That's why I do what I do. But then I also can make hard decisions and see the answer and see the whole brevity of the problem, dynamically speaking, and create strategic ways there and through, if that makes sense. And I hold it all within people's strengths and what they have to be able to help themselves come up, to build their base, to be relentless and resilient through all of life's circumstances, and to overcome No more victimization. No more any of that. You have to overcome. You have to know what you want, and you have to know who you are. Do the good and the bad. And it has to be unwavering and unchangeable. That's what I'm sharing with you today. Love you guys. By choice. Because we choose to love and give.